Hi friends, hope you are doing good. So today I'm again going to discuss the same topic we had discussed last time about the liver cirrhosis, that how we can find out diseases like liver cirrhosis in the horoscope with the help of medical astrology. Last time, if you would see that we had discussed the same case, one of my client. So again I'm going to discuss one more case of one of my client. So if you would see the date of birth, 17 September 1991. I have given the date of birth for your comfort so that you can pull this data in your software and you could see the similar detail that how I was able to diagnose the problem and giving the solutions. So before we go ahead, I want to tell you that I was approached by one of my client in 2013. Yeah, it was 2013, nearby Feb or March 2013, and so they took the medical astrology consultation. And what I could see when I diagnosed the chart, that the person was suffering through liver cirrhosis. So even in fact, his parents, they confirmed that yes, the person was suffering through chronic disease, this liver cirrhosis. Unfortunately, it was a very worse situation for them because the guy was very young, and he was hardly 21 or 22-year old at that time. So like now I'm going to give you the analysis that how we do analyze. So in the last videos, I had not mentioned this part, the analysis, but few of our viewers, they suggested me and they requested also that I should write few of the analysis so that they could see and they could remember and they could correlate with the chart, that how we are going to diagnose the problem. So friends, let's start. Here, let me start with the see, we have an Aquarian ascendant and the person was going through the moon Mahadasha during that time. It got started by October 2011 and I was approached in nearby Feb 2013. Before I go ahead, I need to tell you people, rather I have told in my last video also, that whenever we find out the problems like stomach problem, kidney problem, liver problem and all kind of stomach problem, then we need to see the fifth house. I have mentioned for your comfort, fifth house and fifth sign. Fifth house and fifth sign. Why? Because this is the house and this is a sign is connected with our liver. Now come up with the chart. We are going to discuss the scenario one by one. Moon markage. For the Aquarian ascendant, moon makes markage. Though, so we should say that the person was going through the markage Mahadasha. And the second scenario, moon placed with debilitated Rahu. So just see the moon, the lord of the sixth house, which is making the markage, it is again placed in its sixth house from its own house. This is not the good sign for the benefic planets. And this Rahu is placed, sorry, the moon is placed with the Rahu. And Rahu is debilitated in Sagittarius sign. So this second position is also indicating the position of the moon, that the moon is making the markage, but here again the situation is going to be worse for the moon. So let's tick on one or two points. Now the third one is moon's aspect fifth house. Now here, as we know that moon is making the markage, it is inflicted with the Rahu and afflicted moon. Now the markage moon is aspecting the fifth house. The fifth house is for the liver, and Ketu is already placed over there. So again, this is a worst situation for the fifth house. Now the next scenario, the fourth one is Leo sign inflicted markage Jupiter. This is the Leo sign. Leo sign means the sign of the fifth house. This is a theory only Vedic astrologers do follow this theory, because we need to see the sign also, that sign, there should not be any infliction on the sign. So this scenario, the Leo sign is inflicted with the Jupiter. For the Aquarian ascendant, here again the Jupiter is making markage. So Jupiter is placed in the Leo sign. Again, the worst situation for the Leo signs, means for the fifth house, fifth Leo sign. Now the next scenario, Rahu aspect Leo and Jupiter markage. Rahu's aspects on Jupiter. As we know that Jupiter is already making markage, so Jupiter is already weak over here, and Jupiter is already inflicting this fifth sign. Again, a very bad impression of this this Rahu on the Jupiter and the fifth sign. So this is the fifth scenario. Now we are going to discuss the next point. I mentioned Leo sign bad placement in the 8th house, means Leo signs bad placement in the 8th house. Again, we are revolving around the fifth sign and fifth house. So see, the fifth house, this is the fifth house, this is the fifth house. So who is the lord of the fifth house? So Sun is the lord of the fifth house. So where is Sun? It is placed in the 8th house. Means 8th house is the place for markas, for the mrityu, for markesh. We see the life from this house. So Sun is placed in the 8th house, and if we see that we have two malefic planets in the 8th house, this is not the good situation. Because whenever we have two malefic planets in the 8th house, then people have a tendency of having sexual transmitted diseases also. So the situation is worst. And here what's happening, that Mars is also there along with Sun. Both are malefic planets, and Sun has also taken the impression of Mars, because Mars is weak, because Mars is placed in Mercury's house, and they are enemies. Now the Sun has it's not a good situation for Sun. Sun is infected with the Mars, and this, like both the planets, they are not going to give the good results. Now here what you see, Mars has a fourth aspects on Moon. So again, Moon has a bad infliction through malefic planets. The situation is going to be worse for the Moon, which is already making markage for Aquarian ascendant. So what we see, a lot of combination, that Rahu is already placed with Moon, and Mars has already fourth aspect on the Moon. Now we need to discuss the next scenarios. Here, Mercury losing strength by malefic Mars. Mercury here, since there's a lot of the 8th house also losing its power, because Mars is placed in this house, because Mercury is a significator in the terms of diseases of pancreas and like kind of infection in the stomach, nervous breakdown, depression. So this person was already going through these kind of things during that time. Now The eighth scenario is Venus placement in Cancer. Friends, see, Venus is in the sixth house, is placed in the Cancer sign. So Venus, Cancer is a sign of moon. This is moon. And here, Cancer's sign is, Cancer's lord is moon. Venus and moon, they are enemies. So here Venus is placed in its enemy's house. Again the situation is being worse for the moon because Venus is placed in the Cancer sign. Now the next scenario is Saturn aspecting Cancer. See, Saturn's seventh placement for the Cancer sign, which is a sign for moon. Here we shouldn't forget that moon is making markage for Aquarian ascendant. So this situation is also meeting, and the 10th is significator. We cannot leave the significator. And for the fifth house, and you people must be aware that, like the people who are watching this video, the astrologers, that the fifth house significator is Jupiter. Here, where is Jupiter now? Now Jupiter is placed in the Leo sign, and Jupiter again making markage for Aquarian ascendant. So again we are stuck up in the fifth house. So we are revolving around the fifth house again. And the last is Mars aspect on Moon. We have discussed this scenario earlier with the fifth one. So what we have seen, that whatever the scenarios are coming here, we are focusing on the fifth house and Leo sign and Markesh moon. So these three scenarios we are stuck up, and we are seeing these three scenarios. Now the question is that how we are going to cure this person when the hospitals are denying and they are saying that the person has no strength to go for even the transplant because the person has lost his weight. The person's weight was around 70 kg, and during the time he met with this disease, he was suffering through the disease, his weight was around 48 kg. Also his nervous system was down, so it was very severe situation that there is no transplant available because person cannot go on the operation table. Then what next? So then we started taking the case from that point of view, and how we give the cure, offer the cure to this person. So those analysis I am going to share, those solutions I am going to share with you people now. Now the fifth house, this is a house of Gemini. So the moon, the Mercury. So here we need to empower this house. So what we did, we recommended emerald, because Mercury is also being the lord of the 8th house. Because if you see that in the 5th house and in the 8th house, we both have, in both the houses we have Gemini, and this Virgo sign belongs to Mercury. So we empower the Mercury, recommending emerald gemstone. Now the next gemstone we recommended was ruby for the Leo sign, and also we recommended the ruby of one specific mines of Johnson's star ruby of a very heavy weight, around more than 35 carats, not the kg. So 35 carats we recommended, and which helped curing this person. And not only that, we had to recommend some Vedic solutions, Vedic remedies. So Mahamrityunjay Tuladhan was the main remedy also. Along with that, there were few more remedies, as we had discussed in our last case, that whenever we find that okay, we have so many malefic planets, then we have to follow the solutioning, follow the remedies for those planets also. Here we followed the remedy for Mars and for the fifth sun, not the eighth sun. For the fifth house sun, the remedies we should have in the Vedic astrology, we followed those. And the Rahu of 11th house, we followed the remedy for this. And definitely for the sixth moon, not for the moon was placed on the 11th house, because it's placed in its friend's house, which is Jupiter's sign is Sagittarius. And Venus remedies we follow. In such cases, normally we follow so many remedies. And not only the remedies, we gave the Ayurvedic medicine, which is for curing the liver. So altogether, these Ayurvedic medicines and these astrological remedies, altogether they help that person. Within 90 days, he recovered completely and gained back his weight, which was around 70 kg, almost a similar weight he gained. So friend, these were the analyses that medical astrology is a science which can cure people, even in fact the very chronic diseases which is not sometimes possible by the medical science. So again, I'm going to come up with a new case, so maybe a liver case soon, or maybe something else. So very soon we are coming with a new case. So till then, thank you very much. Keep on watching our channel, and Jai Hind.